Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Luostarinmäki and I'm from University of Turku. My colleagues, I and Timo Korkalainen are from Technology Research Center and Lauri Viinikkala is from the Department of Finnish History, so we have quite multidisciplinary team here. And what we are going to present today is a game called the Luostarinmäki Adventure. It heavily uses the augmented reality. And the idea behind our presentation is that it supports the article, so if you are interested, become interested during the presentation, you get more from reading the actual article. But let's start.
So, let's start with the physical reality. This is the Luostarinmäki Museum area, which is an open-air museum in the city of Turku, Finland, and it's part of the museum center of Turku. It consists of buildings of 18th and 19th century on their original locations. It's survived of the Great City Fire, and for several reasons it remained nearly intact until the 1930s, and in 1940s it was opened as a museum. As a museum, it represents the handicrafts and the life in the city in the past, mostly in the 18th and 19th centuries. As a museum, it has a principle of keeping the surroundings as authentic as possible, which means that the physical reality, the buildings, must keep intact. No alterations, no signs, no texts are allowed. And there is where the augmented reality comes into the picture.
And quick introduction to the augmented reality. How many of you know the term? Yeah. So basically, we are combining computer-generated graphics with perceived reality. Okay, can you see it yourself? You understand.
So we started creating an augmented reality game, which is fictional but based on facts. The plot is described here. The events in the game take place in 1855, and the player, he or she, there's only this male character available at the moment, takes the role of a 20-year-old man coming from the countryside to take part on the wedding of his cousin. Because he comes from the countryside, all the things must be explained to him as he from the countryside, or as the player from the nowadays are unfamiliar with the things in the city life of 1855. Anyway, the first task is to deliver the wedding crown of the family to the mother of the bride, and then it is soon revealed that the wedding ring has been stolen, and then begins kind of a detective story, and the player must find the ring and return it. But
yeah, and here is a screenshot, but that only tells you a little. To show you what the actual gameplay looks like, I'm going to show you some clips we recorded straight from the iPad screen, this iPad game. And so here we go. We are now first delivering the wedding crown to the bride's mother in the center of the screen. Yeah, there we go. I'm sorry, we only have Finnish subtitles here. And then she had a little problem. Her hands were dirty, so we couldn't just give the precious crown to her. Instead, we had to find water. And now we can teach our visitors that during those times, the saunas were in the buildings, but the water wasn't usually there. But because it was this very special day, the wedding is on tomorrow day, the next day, water has already been brought into the sauna. And now we are in the sauna, and there we can see the augmented water container, and here I take the water with me, and then we can take the water to the mother and get her hands washed. Now well, I have the water with me. We have a lot of characters to talk to. The whole idea of the game is to talk to characters, get along with the plot, and there, instead of just going in a linear style, the player can also choose from different replies. And of course, those affect how the game plays out, what is the end result, and so on. And we had 3 different yards where we had multiple characters in each of those courtyards.
So, why we chose to use an augmented reality game in the museum? First of all, to engage and to motivate the visitors, as we thought the nature of a game as an interactive, interactiveness offers the best possibilities to conduct this. And then, why the augmented reality? Because the mentioned principle of the museum to leave the physical reality intact, and although that, to bring the physical reality, the remains of the past, the buildings, the objects, into life again, of course, as an interpretation made in the present day as digital characters, but anyway. And then maybe the most important fact was that we tried to enable learning by doing and learning by experiencing, and through that we created an alternative way to explore the museum area for those who are not interested in traditional tours.
And as you can see, we have both indoor and outdoor areas to explore, and again, emphasis on the fact that we did not add anything to the environment, as usually is done with these augmented reality applications.
Okay, then a few words about actually making the application. I started building the story since the story is the part of the application which combined the most different experts, historians, and technology people, game designers. Okay. The starting point of our story was to think what cannot be told or shown with the traditional methods. Since the museum nowadays kind of emphasize the handicrafts part, and the reality is that the original purpose of the city block was to act as a city block. So it was normal kind of outskirt part of the town, and we wanted to bring that part also alive in the museum. The method we used to build the story was to use the help of the history students. So basically, Lauri instructed and guided a group of students who did the background work for the story, and then write the story in the traditional script form. We also cooperated with the museum staff. There are highly experienced guides in the museum who have good kind of first-hand experience what things interest the visitors and what do not. And we also got some background material from the museum staff. Okay, we started with hand-written script, but soon we realized that we somehow need to connect the traditional writing to the more technological world of applications, And we decided to use this kind of interactive visualization to write down the script. So the advanced, so the plus sides of the tool were that it showed, since the story is not linear, but there can be multiple branches of the story, it shows what parts are already written and if there are gaps in the story. And it also, because it uses some kind of formal form, it's quite easy to automatically transform the story or take the story to the application itself. Okay, then building the game. Let's see how much time. Not much. Because I'm an engineer, I love processes, I can talk about this all the day. Okay, so two challenges. First, there were different experts involved which talked a little bit different language. So we had to make the process very streamlined and simple and easy to understand what are the responsibilities of each actor. And then other goal which comes from our research project is that we want to make the production of these games and applications as cheap as possible. So that's one reason why we wanted to make it very streamlined. Okay, I won't go into 30 details. They can be written from our article, but the basic idea is that we have some real background material, museum costumes, historical material, books, objects, things like that, and actual wonderful location of Luostarinmäki. And then different people work together to make these kind of intermediate work products which can be used to build the game. So character models, script in core form, point cloud data, which enables tracking without using any physical markers, and the actual game rules. And then we have this programmer guy who puts this all together, and now we have this wonderful application. So that is the long story short.
And then when we tried this on people, now we are very much still prototyping, so we had like maybe a bit over 100 people altogether now who have tested this. And in the end, the concept was very well received. Everybody liked it very much, especially our target group, those youth basically, and young adults. And they found it very immersive, sometimes even too immersive, because they kind of said that now we forgot that we're in this museum. We forgot all this environment other than what we saw on the screen. So that's maybe an area we have to do some research on, how to also make them remember this area. And of course, the technology is very young. It needs to improve a lot. We had a lot of technical difficulties with the tracking to allow us work without any additional markers in the scene. But it's quite clear that commercial solutions will be viable quite soon, and with a price tag that even moderate museums could afford. And that's kind of the point indeed in this project. We've seen a lot of state-of-the-art solutions yesterday, but we try to bring this to those next step below those very, very expensive productions. And of course, we are still continuing this production. We are going to do a lot of more tests next summer. So if you want to try out this program, then of course please contact us. We will come and show you it. And we are also making some kind of test sessions for just random tourists on the site. And a good reason to come to Finland next summer when we are doing these tests is our own augmented reality conference, and that is very much focused on culture and travel segments. So I guess there are a lot of people here who feel in those fields.
Okay, that was a big advertisement. And I think this concludes our presentation. So if you have if you want to see this application live, we have a live demonstration with us. So come to us and ask for demonstration. So thank you for your attention.